ready to tell you a little bit about our guest, Stefanie Booker-Atchison. She is a lover of laughs, foodgasms, and sunsets. She is also a board-certified clinical hypnotherapist and a master hypnotic coach with a focus on resiliency and radical self-care, and a motivational speaker. What a wonderful package. She studied social work at UMUC and has a degree in transformational psychology from the accredited Southwest Institute of Healing Arts in Phoenix, Arizona. Hot. And postgraduate certifications in stress management, spiritual coaching, practical mysticism, and therapeutic massage. Her empowering individual and group sessions are held online, thank goodness. Currently, she is focused on learning to line dance because it is premium self-care and just plain fun. Stefanie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate this.
Line dance, huh?
Yeah, it's because we're all inside, captivated audience. I want to keep moving. And I am not a gym rat, nor have I been a mall walker. So I was trying to figure out what could I do. And I thought, and I'm one of those people, I like ands. So I figured my love of dance and exercise, line dancing.
Okay.
There you go.
So the pop question is, what are Phoenix moments? You said this was something important to you.
Phoenix moments are those moments in our lives where we are hit with traumatic change. You know, a loved one dies, you're laid off from work, you've had a catastrophic illness, or something devastating has happened to you, your job, or your family. And in those moments, you find a way, when there doesn't seem to be a way, to stand up, take stock of your surroundings, and improve your life in a direction you hadn't expected before. And we all have those Phoenix moments. We have all, I mean, there isn't a person right now walking around on the planet that COVID-19 is not affecting. Unfortunately, it's affecting some of us more than others. So here's a chance for us to really, really take stock about where we are and where we want to go for the rest of this year and beyond. And in my life, one of the Phoenix moments for me was when my father passed 3 years ago. I was doing some work with some nonprofits. I wasn't really outreaching with the skills that I have. I was just really putting my toe in it, dipping my toe in the water. Doing self-empowerment classes, some staff development talks and things like that. And Dad died. And my dad had one of the biggest personalities you'd ever see. And there weren't too many things in his life that he didn't do. He didn't have too many regrets.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, the only thing that he ever told me that he didn't do was, my dad was into golf before Tiger Woods was even a glimmer in his parents' eye. And he didn't get a chance to get on the golf circuit because, let's face it, people of color weren't really big on the golf circuit back in the 60s. And that was the only regret that he had. He said if he had a chance to step out there and do his thing, he might have done it, but he had a family. Yeah. And I was like, in my grief, I was thinking about, what is it that I haven't done? What is it that I want to do? What is it that I want to explore more of? And I wanted to help more people. I wanted to be able to help people know that life doesn't end when something bad happens. Sometimes it's a new beginning, and just to take that moment. And once I accepted that was his gift to me through his passing, I started working with a hypnosis group. I started doing more personal trainings. I started my own group, which is transitioning now, Grown Women, which is a group session. And I have 2 of those going right now, but they're transitioning. But it made me expand and see what was possible. And every time I go back to that, I'm no longer just sad over losing someone I love, but I appreciate the fact that he lit a fire under my butt to do something different for myself.
Wow. Okay. So we're rising from the ashes.
Yeah.
after those moments?
Yeah.
Well, now that you've just blown everybody away with that, now I can ask you about your business, and they're way more likely to pay attention. So please tell me, well, I mean, I know, but just, you know, tell me about your business. Now we know how it started. It started from one of your Phoenix moments. But what can you tell us about it, just to kind of give everybody a good idea of who you are and what you do?
Okay, well, Heartwise Holistics is my business. I am a clinically certified, like you said, hypnotherapist, as well as a master hypnotic coach with a specialization in resilience and radical self-care. And what that means to people is that I hold individual or group sessions, workshops, retreats, or seminars on how to get unstuck, how to live your life on your terms, and to have what you want to have going forward. Like I said, a lot of us have had things that have happened to us, whether it be personally or professionally, that has just sort of discombobulated us and turned us around.
Yeah.
We can't seem to get a handle on how to do things better, or to do things right, or to just simply be okay with where we find ourselves. And it's not necessarily always a catastrophic moment. It could be something as simple as having a baby, or it could be trying to move your older parents into your home. That's a really big change. And your life and your work life suffers. So the way that I help individuals is we will talk, and I will work a hypnosis session to fit your needs. However best helps you move forward productively and successfully. How I help businesses, I can help you craft alternative wellness sessions, such as working on peak performance, or working on sales, or just plain trying to get your employees to de-stress and to be more comfortable with their new surroundings. And I find that a lot of my clients have come to me because they're overwhelmed and underjoyed with their life. And it doesn't matter if that.
I like that.
Thank you. And then it doesn't matter if that overwhelm comes from too many emails, or they are tired of 2:00 in the morning feedings. They need help in trying to figure out how to move forward.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that particular point is pretty important, I think, for businesses, right? I've read that, the really big corporations like Google, they're, incorporating things like meditation and hypnosis into their corporate wellness programs. And I'm sure it's, very much tied to all the research that they've been doing in terms of how stress impacts things like employee engagement and productivity. And the employee engagement numbers, they've been able to tie to things like increased absenteeism, and whether that's due to just having no motivation to come to work, or because their stress is turning into illness.
Yes.
So I've seen some numbers on that. I think Gallup.com has some really good numbers on that.
I was looking at, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was looking at a podcast, and the numbers on work-related stress, disease, and injuries is ridiculous. Somebody was saying that 7.8 trillion is spent globally on healthcare, and out of that, 3.7 billion in alternative healthcare solutions just in the past 2 years alone. So, and when you're looking at that, that means people are not just talking about medical bills. We're talking about chiropractors, acupuncturists, massage therapists, physical therapists, therapy, talk therapy. So all of these industries are affected because we're dealing with more work-related stress than ever before. And unfortunately, the model of our culture and our life is you got to work hard, you got to grind, you got to do this. And if people aren't doing that, they have stress because they're not spending more time with their families, stress because they are spending every waking moment trying to be more productive at work, stress because maybe they're not getting paid their value at work. Yeah. Maybe, they're got 2 or 3 jobs. And let's face it, right now, because of COVID-19, the gig economy has dried up, and it's getting more and more difficult for people to make their ends meet. Mm-hmm. That's why it's important.
Yeah. So you touched on it a bit when we were talking about your business, but could you give us just kind of a quick look at who your ideal client or clients are, since you kind of have those two parts where you work with like individuals, but then you're also looking at businesses? What's the ideal for you?
Well, when I'm looking at a business, most of the businesses that I've worked with are businesses that are interested in their employees' well-being. Increased productivity is a really big part. They've found that, if I'm not mistaken, 40% of people interviewed found that their stress was work-related, and their work-related stress reduced their productivity. So employers who are looking to improve um, their employees' likability, should they say, about their job or the companies that they work for, will hire me to
Mm-hmm.
come in and we'll work on stress management, or I will do some mindfulness classes and talk about meditation and how you can get through with just mindful meditative moments on a daily basis. I've also gone and done programs like smoke, I like to call them smoke-free sessions, to help people, encourage them to not smoke. And it doesn't matter what you're smoking, as long as you're not smoking. Cigarettes, vaping, any alternatives, to help them get back into a healthier lifestyle. But my ideal individual client, it's funny, most places will, when you're in school, and I can remember years ago, they ask you who your ideal client is. And I thought she was this wonderful millennial to 50-year-old woman with kids, divorced, with extra money. That was her. But the clients that are coming to me are clients who are college educated or more, who have a desire to be dialed in to their life. They're finding out that, and these are, I don't know why I seem to be getting a lot of VPs, but these are people, executives, business owners, entrepreneurs, maybe people who have lived a life and are starting a new one, empty nesters. They are not as dialed into their emotional intelligence as they are how to make money, how to be good at their job, and they want to improve. They want to like who they are. They want to like their lives. They want to be more responsive emotionally and reciprocally to the people around them. So that's what I do. I help them gain that instruction by looking inside them and touching on those resources that they have. And we really work toward those goals of becoming more balanced, more peaceful, and more successful, and living where they are.
Well, and I have to say, I'm not surprised at all that that you're attracting these types of people. I found that usually, you get good at something, but you know that whatever it is that you're doing in this other aspect of your life, it's not working. So you just have to try something that you've never tried before.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it probably takes them some time to kind of mull that over and be like, yes, this is the decision I'm going to make. But when you want something different, you got to do something different, right?
True. Yeah. And I'll tell you, I've had really good success with people who are, the first thing that they're ready to do is they're really ready to accept change and responsibility for where they are. And like I said, because these are higher minded people, these are executives, these are people who are used to being in charge.
Mm-hmm.
These are people who are used to figuring out where pieces go and how to fit them and solve problems. They're totally blindsided and baffled at why they can't fix this. Why is it not working? What is going on? And sometimes it just needs somebody else to help them pull back, and sit back and say, hey, this is the bigger picture, or look at this from a different perspective,
Mm-hmm.
or just refocus them on what's really important. So.
And just because it is a fairly hot topic, I'd like to ask you, because you have all of this, experience in terms of what a lot of us as business owners, executives, entrepreneurs, in terms of like managing stress. So I'm wondering, how has the quarantine impacted your business? Like, Have you pivoted? Are you using new technologies? Like, how are you still making things work?
Oh my goodness. So before
That this
this,
is
at
a
the
hot
beginning,
question. People like, how are people figuring this out? I actually had somebody reply to one of my emails from a newsletter and said, I would love to hear about the innovative ways that business owners are just making it work. Even if it's got some duct tape on it and it's just not perfect, but how are you making it work though? And I'm like,
well,
hey, I can ask that question.
well, I'll tell you, I was already in the process of pivoting my business from
Okay.
fewer one-on-one in-person sessions or one-on-one um, um, motivational or networking engagements to online engagement. I was already going into that focus. I was setting up contracts. I was doing things to do that before all of this happened. What
Mm-hmm.
this period has done is made me speed that process up even more. And I started by looking at, I guess it was last year, I started by having online sessions with clients. And it was
Mm-hmm.
really important to me because of what I do to make sure that the efficacy of online sessions was just as good as in-person sessions. So I did a lot
Mm-hmm.
of research, looked at the studies, I talked to hypnotists and hypnotherapists who were already doing it. And then I had several clients who were either going out of town or I was going out of town and they still wanted to continue their regular bi-weekly or weekly sessions. So it gave me an opportunity to see, oh, okay, this does work. This is something that transfers well to online, and it does have an effect. I have one group now that we meet on a monthly basis online, and if not, it's even better than when we were in person. I like the connection, and see, one of my superpowers is hugging. So I'm kind
You give
of,
wonderful hugs.
thank you. I'm at a loss that I can't physically hug people,
Yes.
but recognizing that the energetic connection is still there through online and seeing that my clients have been able to really use the sessions to their advantage and not skip a beat or feel at a loss has really helped me spurn me into more growth into that direction. So I'm putting together a business owners group, which will be starting in June. I'm putting
Mm-hmm.
together my third online group that's just totally a group, a monthly group for people. And I'm also starting putting my courses, my workshops that I had in person, I'm putting them online.
Oh.
So all of that are in the works to be done and should be done within the next 30 to 45 days. And it doesn't matter to me whether and when we reopen, because I know things are going to change. They,
Mm-hmm.
we always like to go back, but there is no going back to. We're going to have to remodel our businesses in a newer way that encompasses the way that people will be living their lives going forward. This disease, for better or worse, is going to be with us. And we have to figure out how we can connect to people in a way that allows them to see how we do, what they need, but it has to be online and it has to be distanced. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah.